Sick transit Gloria. Glory fades, especially if you're Jesse Lacey. Hello, we are still doing movies again. We watched Rushmore for this week's episode of...
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
Let's go.
Hastings.
Here comes Hastings.
What if it was the Jaws theme? Hastings.
Hastings.
We're going to need a bigger bong.
Yes, and we're off. 15 seconds in, baby.
Fuck. This is going to be an all-timer.
Yeah, dude. That'll be the last laugh on the pod. I'm going to talk about having depression for 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to be great.
it's going to be an all-time bad episode.
Oh,
yeah.
We went too hard, too quickly, and we talked about the movie for 30 minutes before we did the pod.
Yeah, you guys would be so upset if you knew how much we talked about the movie not on pod.
We go so much into the mise-en-scene that you guys would be like, what the fuck?
I actually wrote a Wes Anderson essay while we were before the pod, and then I burnt it, so no one will ever know.
You know, I wouldn't
it.
be surprised if somewhere in a Tumblr page long forgotten there was a Wes Anderson essay by Andrew Hastings.
No, I've never written an essay recreationally.
Did you ever have a Tumblr?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was on it?
There would definitely have been some like Rushmore image. I didn't post much. Like I didn't.
Did you like blog, or was it just you posting like okay.
I mostly reblogged like shit I thought was funny or whatever.
Or stuff
pornography?
Or stuff
No, I used it. So the reason I had it
is to
So you could
get
look
laid.
at the pornography.
No, it was so I could look at pornography. It was I'm a touch too old for Tumblr. Like I was 23 when it was like sort of.
And your name was like what? X Broken Heart Bandit X.
I think it was Gerard Stan fanboy Eminem Gerard Way number
and
one.
your dad was
Yeah, it was,
your dad was just like, man, he loves me. This fucking shitty kid.
Yeah,
Mine
man,
was fuck yeah trans things.
yeah. I've said this on the pod, but yeah, there's a photo of me did get reblogged by a hot gay emo boys Tumblr.
That was like 2 episodes ago.
But yeah, that was from my Tumblr.
But we're reliving it, baby.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, it was good shit. I definitely masturbated to Tumblr a lot. That was like
I found some alright porno ones that I had a good JO to.
It was also because it was.
But it's like if you're gonna
How do I word this? It was the first social media site for me, at least, where like girls I knew would post photos of their breasts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and yeah, I was like happy to consume that content. Now, yeah, let's forget what I was searching in tags, and let's forget how far back I was going into people's Tumblrs and all that sort of stuff. Wasn't just me being presented the content; it was me actively seeking out and like trying to find. Yeah, I was like find people's Tumblrs and look up what they're doing.
The moment that you first realize that people you know are posting pictures of them that are scantily clad is like.
It started a lifelong love affair.
Well,
for me.
you're just like
I
originally.
bet you fucking go to town on my Instagram then, baby.
Oh my lord!
Originally, like I think.
No, you look too much like my mate Reese.
Ugh.
I apologize. That was maybe too far.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a game changer, but it also makes you feel deeply creepy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was dancing around.
But that's always the eternal argument is like if you found out someone you knew had jerked off like looking at you or thinking about you or whatever, would you feel creeped out or flattered?
It absolutely depends on the person.
It depends who it is. If it's
Depends whether or not you're interested.
yeah, if it's Hastings,
I would be happy for it to be someone I'm not interested in. That wouldn't creep me out. But it would be like if it was someone
you didn't like.
Yeah, if it was someone I didn't like or someone...
I think it's someone with like a fucked vibe, right?
It's someone with a fucked vibe and also someone where like if my dynamic with them would like there's a lot of different dynamics that could make that weird. And then that would be weird. But most of my mates like for example, right? Let's say
Jamie Cook.
Let's say okay, like how do I word this? It's like
If I beat off to you,
Which you have.
yeah.
Do you know what it is? If it was an innocent, if I got the culmination,
It's just
of its,
an innocent beat off.
if the culminations of its
Just
parts,
supporting a mate.
maybe totally right. That's kind of what I'm getting at. If it's a summation of its parts makes me feel as if it's an innocent crush or an innocent attraction, or like they like me or they want to fuck me, whatever. That's cool, and I might want to fuck them. That's fine. But if there was anything that made it feel like sinister, that would make me uncomfortable.
If you're feeling sinister.
Yeah. It's also like, we're saying this as if it's hypothetical. People have beat off to all our Instagrams for certain. No, there's no doubt about it at all.
Yeah, I've started
perhaps.
getting quite a few.
I'm sure someone beat off to my MySpace.
For sure.
I've started getting quite a few creepy messages from dudes in the DMs on Instagram, and
Sorry about that. I'd had a few drinks.
but the girl I am seeing, like, she responds to them and like sees how long she can waste their time for before they get really gross.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I tried that the other day.
Yeah, and now you're dating one of them.
I imagine they
That's
get.
just how you are.
I imagine they get gross pretty quick. Like,
Yeah.
Or, yeah, not as quick as I thought, but like you just respond like kind of literally and matter of factly to like the inane questions like how old are you or whatever, and like
How old are you?
they always ask how old you are.
That's so funny because you're in your 30s.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's such a like. Yeah, I'm Jesse Lacey. How old are you? Like it's. But it's
They
like,
always ask
to
how-
a woman in her 30s. Like,
Yeah, they always ask how old you are. But
what do they? When you tell them your age, how do they react?
okay is usually it.
Because what else reaction is there to
Yeah.
32?
And then another question.
damn.
Yeah.
32. You're 31.
31.
Yeah.
But like, then he said like something like, "Do you have a special man in your life?" or something like that. To which I said, "No, I'm a lesbian." And he said, "Okay."
Penis.
And but then what was it? I might have a screenshot here.
While you're looking at that screenshot, can I ask a question? Yeah.
Sure.
When they said, "Do you have a special man in your life?" and you said no,
Did you?
like how could you? Is my
Yeah.
question, I guess.
Oh,
is
here
how
we go.
could you forget about the big dog?
Do you have
Your
any?
number one man?
Do you have any?
Yeah, it's Andrew Hastings.
Yeah, Andrew Hastings is the special man in
I
my
thought
life.
this was a great turn.
That'd be
to
such
like
a funny thing
try
to
and
do
get
to
it
people.
into his favor. Do you have any special man? I'm a lesbian. Okay. Can you make a relationship with my sister? She is also a lesbian.
Man, good on it. What a good brother, right?
Like,
What
yes,
a-
that's
Yeah.
why you
For a
came
guy that
here.
was just like, I don't like sinister vibes. For a guy to like be like, hey, want to fuck?
Yeah.
How about my sister?
But that-
I'll bring the popcorn.
But like, how yuck is that? That guy's essentially just immediately switched to like imagining his sister fucking someone.
one time I one time I was DM. No, this one's all above board. I was DMing this girl for a bit. Much in the way Rose is describing. I was DMing this girl who, like, she said,
It's just you. How old are you?
Yeah.
She said,
Where do you live?
this was years
Which
and years
country
ago.
is that?
This was years ago.
I've never heard of Turkmenistan before.
He said, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Sydney." He said, "Which country?" I was like, "Australia, dude." Like, and then he goes, "Oh yes, the country I am also from." That's what he said.
Yes, the
one
country
of-
that I am also
One
from.
of those famous Australians that's never been heard of Sydney.
Yeah, it sounded like it was like talking to like a cyborg. Like,
Yeah, that rocks. So I was.
And they're probably coming out of it as well, like your matter-of-fact answers being like, fuck, all trans people are autistic. You're just like,
Yeah.
fucking read the room, man. Like,
Yeah, can't she tell I'm trying to fuck? Does she not know I'm trying to fuck her? What's
it's like,
going on?
I don't know how much more I'm asking her to date my sister. Like, why hasn't she asked for a picture of my penis?
That
yet?
guy's got a podcast about teen sex comedies too.
Yeah, and it's better than ours.
So just for clarity, the girl sent the first message, and it was in Adelaide years and years ago. And I was on a bit of a tear, and so I was like, "Oh, cool! Thanks for. I'm glad you liked the show. Cool, yeah. Maybe we get a drink sometime." Yeah, there was a few messages in between, but that was the gist of it. And she was like, "Oh, I got a boyfriend. Sorry, but I'll check out if you got any other gigs." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." But then the next day, her little sister, who was also at the show, DM'd me being like, "I'm single," and I ended up, yeah.
Little sister, huh?
She was like 20. I was like 24 and she was like 20. No, I was like 23, I think. No, wait, fuck. How? I was 25. It was, yeah. I was,
This is all over the place.
I was
it was
25.
last
I
week,
worked it out.
and she was 16.
When I did
I
my,
was 30.
did I? Yeah, I did my first solo run in Adelaide when I was 25. Yeah,
Who gives a shit?
that girl certainly did.
But you probably just beat off to the fact that people are like, I like the show, right?
Yeah, but then I beat
Like
off.
someone shows you like a try booking page and you're like, oh.
Totally, absolutely. I do beat off to that, but then I beat off again to the nudes they sent me. I call it a 2-for-1.
Oh god.
So you've got to use the code.
Hey, here's a funny thing that I did this week,
Yeah.
which is not really gross, but I thought it was kind of cool. It's like I had a dream that like two friends of mine were a couple who have never met each other before from different friend groups. And then I woke up and I was like, that's kind of a good match. So I took them for drinks the other night, and then they ended up making out.
That is cool.
I rule.
I shouldn't just repeat the tweet, right?
Yeah, no, you should.
It was very nice of you to take me and your mum out for drinks, Rose.
I was setting you up for that. You
I
got
know, and that's why I was like, oh, fuck, do I... It
Yeah.
feels dishonest to repeat a tweet. Like, it's on record as being before this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I'll repeat a riff. for
not
sure.
everyone's looking at the Twitter.
That's
a
true.
pretty-
That- I got a fucking pretty decent amount of likes on that.
I liked Hastings one. It was
Thanks, man.
fine.
A few people
Yeah, and
did.
I noticed you didn't like mine.
Did
Well,
I
it's
not? I usually
it's a different
always
flavor
make-
of tweet.
I usually always make sure I like both when it's a reply because people do notice.
It's
that.
all right. I didn't need it. I got about 363 on there. So
Damn, that's too many.
363. That's the... Come on, give me something here. Give me... That's the 363. It's the number of...
Times.
Oh, wait. Here we go. Okay, I've got it. Something... Give me a minute.
Should we pause the? Should we pause the Zoom? God, you're really straining.
he's gonna have an aneurysm.
Okay. Fuck. 363...
It would be 333, whatever you're trying to do.
No, I was going to do days of the year minus 2.
Right.
Right.
So I was trying to think of something I did twice last year, but I didn't have a good one.
Did well.
Right.
Stand up.
Oh, man. I love comedy right now. I'm having the best time.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, it's
What have
great.
you been doing?
Just gigs, just like spots. It's been great. Just you
Yeah,
know.
it is kind of nice, huh?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm like just feeling really positive and good about everything. It's nice, like about comedy at least.
How's the bouldering going?
I haven't been for a bit over a week because Yvette's been like not feeling like Yvette's been sick. I'm going in a few days. I've been doing weights in my lounge room. I've been drinking pea protein.
Pee like urine.
Yeah, pea protein. No, yeah, urine. I've been drinking urine. No, it's like pea. It's a type of vegan protein powder.
In like year 10 or something like that, we had to write for PE like a report on alternate therapies, and I did urine therapy and called it taking the piss.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. What'd you get?
I did quite well, I think. I was good at the theory side of PE, not so good at the prac.
What nerd is good at the theory side of PE and not the prac? That
This
rocks.
moron, how does that not track for me?
Yeah. Do you guys want to see my bicep or what? Are we doing this?
I know, like I realized that people maybe weren't into my progressive, transgressive comedy styles when I did a PE assignment once, where we had to do like a presentation for like fake PE products, and I got like a box of Nurofen and like photoshopped, and I called it Dr. Dre's performance enhancing drug, just because the idea that Dr. Dre having like a workout drug was so funny
His
to
name's
me.
Dr. Dre. That's very funny.
Yeah. And I thought it was hysterical. And I was like, this is going to just crush in the room. And people were just like, I don't get it. And I was like, fucking give me 15 years. I'll move out to the inner west. I'll run an open mic.
Hey guys, check this out. What the fuck is that? That's crazy. I'm massive, Jamie.
What a shit tattoo. Got him.
How dare you, Rose?
Show us the try side.
Like on the back? You want like do
Yeah.
the same thing, but on the back?
Well, you're going to just
Oh,
fix it
that's
that
how- yeah.
way. Yeah. Oh, that's shaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going for it.
shaking doesn't feel like a good sign.
No,
Yeah.
it's
it's straining
I'm
under
straining.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's so big that
Your
my frame
bicep
can't.
is you're actually pretty big.
Yeah, I'm massive, dude.
You're not mad.
No, I'm just very skinny. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just freakishly skinny at the moment. So it's any muscle at all is just exploding off my fucking skeleton. It's great. I don't think I think I'm like maybe lost too much weight a little bit. I was looking at myself in the mirror yesterday with my shirt off, and I was like, I don't think this is good.
And that's where the pea protein comes in.
Yeah, I'm trying to gain weight.
Is it like green?
No, it's like a beige thing. It tastes like cardboard. It's awful.
It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
disgusting.
But I'm trying to, you know.
Do you like peas?
Like to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind them. Mushy
love-
peas and a pie.
I don't like mushy peas. I like regular peas. I don't even like
It's a very
baby
English
peas. They're too
thing.
close to mushy peas.
What's the difference?
Because smaller is like, if they're smaller, they're closer to being mushed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand what you mean.
I guess I see
even though
what
it
you
doesn't
mean.
completely.
You know what? Like it's kind of
Yeah,
like,
I do. Like, but
okay, Dippin' Dots, right?
yeah.
Same idea.
Are they good?
Yeah,
They look good.
they are good, dude.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Really, you strike me as a big ice cream boy for some reason.
I'm a big ice cream girl.
I quite like ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of like ice cream? What is Dippin' Dots? Explain to the listener.
It's just like
It's
teeny
just
tiny little
balls
dots of ice cream, right?
yeah,
And you
see-
get 1 trillion of them.
Yeah, but give me the big one, baby.
Have we ever had the what's your favourite ice creams discussion on the podcast?
Oh man,
No.
I think it's time.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
As the show winds
I got a
down,
top
we
three.
You
wind
got
up.
There's two different types of conversation you have here. There's like what you can get in like the ice cream parlor,
Yeah.
and then store bought.
All right, Dan, great. 2 categories. I got a top 3.
What about gelato?
That's parlor?
I would
baby.
say ice cream parlor, same thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, I don't think so. I think gelato is its own separate category.
What
All
do you?
right, ice
what
cream
ice
parlor, gelato.
What
oh,
ice-
sorry, ice cream parlor, gelatalia.
That being said,
Oh, no.
that being said,
Store-bought.
I do not have a gelato.
I was just gonna say, what ice cream parlors are you going to that aren't gelato? Is it just Mr. Whippy? Like, what are you talking
It
about?
could be like, you know,
Baskin-Robbins,
like you.
bitch.
It could be like
they're
going.
barely around.
Could be like
Oh
going.
yeah, but I spent like
but it,
Well, I just remember my sister works at Ben and Jerry's.
but it could be like
yeah,
if
Ben
you.
Jerry's
Ben
fucking
and Jerry's
rocks.
is great.
Yeah, but it could also be like the like going down the south coast to like Kiama Ice Creamery or something like that.
Cold
It's like-
Rock.
It's like chocolate, vanilla, rainbow. Oh yeah.
Cold Rock's like its own thing.
No, I'd call Cold Rock firmly in the vein of ice cream parlor.
All right.
Oh, does Cold Rock even exist anymore? in
Okay,
Australia?
yeah.
we've now debated the terms of the list of your favorite ice creams. Longer than we should have spent on discussing the
We
ice
also
creams.
haven't gone into polls versus.
Yeah.
Cones
well,
versus
it's also because I
cups.
was about to bring up like
well, because like a cornetto is very different than an icy pole.
totally. I
And
think
like
that's,
a
that's
but
store-bought.
I would
Calippo is
argue
very
there,
different from a magnet.
Icy pole is a nice block.
Yeah. Okay.
But these are all store bought. My thing I was going to say is like, if you were like Hastings right now, any kind of ice cream, go. What do you want?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say Mr. Whippy, right?
Just like straight vanilla,
Straight man, like maybe with the chocolate, maybe not, depending on my mood.
a flake.
Man, maybe who knows? But like in the actual ice cream itself, it's probably my favorite kind. But that doesn't really like if someone goes, "What's your favorite ice cream?" That doesn't even enter my mind.
Yeah,
so I think
true.
usually
Yeah,
that question.
It's always good when you get it, but you never
It's
think
so
of it first
good.
choice.
Well, yeah,
'Cause that's
It's
where
like
my-
it's
That's
the
their business model.
It's the Andrew Hastings of ice creams.
Because that's
It's always good, but you never think of it first.
That's where my
Yes.
original two-parter came in. Because someone says, "What's your favorite ice cream?" What they either mean is, "What's your favorite flavor?" or "What's your favorite like store-bought one?"
Yeah.
I know we get it.
Man, I have this we could divide it into about 30 subcategories, and we will.
All right, I'm gonna take Mr. Whippy
So
out
welcome
of
to
the
We'll
equation.
Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All podcast about ice cream. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Mr. Whippy
Tell
out of the
your mother
occasion because
we
that does
licked it.
complicate it too much. For me. I'm gonna go the 2 broad categories just to wrap this up. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I got a top
should always
3.
wrap it
I
up.
got a top 3 for
Yeah,
the ice
both.
cream parlor. All right, cookies and cream, choc mint,
Oh,
salted caramel.
ooh.
Yeah, man.
Salted caramel
Yeah.
gets too heavy for me.
Man, 3 of the greats.
Me and
Choc mint is one of the king flavors.
And it's so hard to argue with. It's like brushing your teeth with ice cream.
me and
and a little sweet treat for
that's what
daddy.
you say to your mum while you're like in your room at night going. Blah, blah.
When I say shit like that,
And then
it's
I'm gonna
crazy
go
that
out-
I'm underweight.
and then I'm gonna go outside and have a menthol cigarette.
Yeah.
Me and a friend of the show, Jared McGowan, once went to Gelato Messina and got salted caramel thick shakes,
Yeah.
and I've almost never regretted anything more in my life, and he was the same.
Well, I
Yeah.
used to like it. Yeah, because you used to be able to go down a basket.
Was the caramel so heavy you guys almost didn't have sex?
No, nothing would stop us. We were gonna have it regardless.
Yeah, the Baskin Robbins thick shakes were dope. I used to go to Castle Towers and get like the chocolate chip cookie dough in a thick shake.
That's good.
Chocolate chip cookie dough is my absolute number one choice for ice cream.
You might have missed this. You might not have got over here early enough, or you lived out there, so maybe. But like Wendy's thick shakes, that was good
Oh
shit.
yeah, Wendy's thick shakes.
There was a
great.
Wendy's at Ringham
Shake and
Mall.
dog, brother.
Yeah.
Sister.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had that.
The shake and dog deal. You got a thick shake and one of those shitty hot dogs where like they don't even.
Oh, yeah,
slice,
yeah,
They
no, I
put
know
the,
what you mean, yeah,
they
yeah.
put the glory hole in it and shove the
Yeah.
There was
thing
a
down
there
and
was
then
a
fill it with
yeah.
sauce.
There
They
was-
used
there
to
was-
have that for
yeah.
lunch all the time.
There was a
Oh, baby.
Wendy's at Ringham Mall, and this woman who was like used to live with him was my best friend for a long time. She worked at the Wendy's at Ringham Mall for a very long time, so I would spend hours just loitering around there, being like, "Can I have another thick shake,
Yeah.
please?"
Oh man, like Engadine Court, where Franklin's was, where Mum did the shopping. There was a Wendy's
So good
outside
to
of that.
record
Just
an
always.
episode of my podcast community notice board. Did you ever fuck with New Zealand Natty ice cream?
I never got
Nah.
into it, but the shakes were good.
They do a very good like I think it's like a raspberry cheesecake one, mate.
I'd
Ooh.
forgotten that
They're
existed
good.
until you just said
There
it.
was I only just remember because I went back to Macquarie Centre where I worked for the first time in like years, and it was still there, and I was like, oh shit.
I think maybe my sister like really briefly worked at one of them, but I'm not sure.
But yeah, my top 3.
Yeah.
We got chocolate chip cookie dough.
Yeah.
We've got mint choc chip.
Yeah.
Then strawberry cheesecake.
Man, strawberry cheesecake. I'm not normally into strawberry as a flavor, but in an ice cream in strawberry cheesecake, I'm right there.
If
with
we're
you, brother.
fucking if we've got the Neapolitan and we're
dude,
sharing it, I'm
100%,
carving out the strawberry.
100%.
Oh, you are welcome to it. my
Yeah,
friend.
because motherfuckers always got chocolate. I'm like,
Yeah.
enjoy
no.
your death trap, ladies.
I'll go straight for the vanilla.
Vanilla is like underrated,
Yeah.
but
Vanilla's
also
a goat.
overrated.
It's overused, underrated.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, I'm kind of got away with words.
Okay,
I'm gonna give for one-liners.
for me,
Yes.
I'm gonna go. This will get oddly specific to like certain places, but Bounty.
Okay.
Like the bar.
No, like it's supposed to taste like the bar.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah,
a
but you can get
it's
the
like-
frozen Bounty bars, like Mars Bar and
Oh
Snickers
no,
and
those
stuff.
aren't that good. I've had that.
Yeah.
It's like a stock standard flavor at Messina.
Most of those, the chocolate bar to ice cream conversions, most of them not great.
Twix though.
Twix is great because it's anything with flake. It's like you come on, brother.
remember
How
if
can
I
you go
had
wrong
that
with
Twix
flake?
one.
Like any like not
Twix
the
is
bar, but
Twix
the
isn't
flakes.
flake. Twix is
Not
crunch.
No, flake, but like the flake in it. I mean, not
Oh,
the
yeah.
not nothing to do with the chocolate bar flake. The bit of what would you call it?
Well,
Like
Twix is like
Wafer.
biscuity.
wafer, yeah, the crunch,
biscuity
the-
crunch.
yeah, biscuit. That's the word I was looking for.
But Bounty,
Man, we should go get ice cream.
like, yeah, we'll get an ice cream on the way to the pub.
Get ice cream at the pub.
Do you reckon they'd let you take ice cream into the pub?
Do pubs serve ice cream like as a dessert?
Some do in cocktails.
Some would as like part of like a dessert for kids.
Bourbon and ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rum raisin is a decent like
I don't
flavor.
fuck with rum or raisins. So.
I like fine, so I
Yeah.
love
I like
rum.
spiced rum.
The only reason I fuck
'cause
with
I like
raisins
pirates.
is because they've shrunk considerably. But Bounty, like proper like shitty ice creamery rainbow,
Oh man, you're not wrong.
which is like maybe even number one.
Don't
Like,
think
they
I've
could
ever had it.
interchange.
Let's do
And
it.
then-
Let's make the podcast about ice creams, like every
Yeah.
episode.
Well, we've got to get to store bought after this.
We don't change the name either. We just
We'll
change
just tell
it.
your mother we ate it all,
Well-
and it's just a picture of me in a diaper eating ice cream.
Yeah, all of us.
I was going to pitch instead of we'll just tell your mother we ate it all. We just change it to mother we ate it all.
Mother, comma, we ate it all,
Yeah, exactly.
and then just us holding an empty tub. Like, "Ugh."
Man, how mad do you think people will get about that one?
Man, I think
On a
they would.
scale of How I Met Your Mother to
I don't know. To
staying on topic and doing a good podcast.
From a scale of,
I think people would be less mad than they would about
Me
How I
too.
Met Your
But I
Mother.
think by the third episode, they'd be like, "You've fucking milked this. You've creamed it."
bit of pottery.
I think if we were to make the scale though of audience, it's like obviously off center is the 0. The 10, it's local celebrities calling me a cunt. That's the most popular thing among audience members, and it always has been.
Yeah.
You're talking your Tom Walkers, your Demi Lardners. That's kind of the
Yeah,
whole
Alex
list.
White.
But yeah, you know that local celebrity Alex White.
Yeah. Well, he is to me.
The tallest man in Redfern.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's probably not, but he'd be close, I guess.
Yeah.
What's
What's the
Listener,
third?
right?
The
If
third-
you know a taller man than Alex White that lives in Redfern, tell us.
the third? Turkish delight.
Yeah, I don't
Ooh.
but fuck with Turkish delight, but
you
I
gotta-
do not begrudge people who do.
You got to get it from like Hakiki on Enmore Road. It's so good. Like I was like skeptical, and then someone shoved it in front of me. I was like, "This has changed."
You mean
everything.
Turkish?
But, like-
hold on. Do you mean Turkish delight flavored ice cream, or
Yes.
do you mean Turkish delight chocolate bar to ice cream convert? Because that also exists.
I meant the first one.
Okay.
But do you like
Just
Turkish
checking.
delight in general?
I don't mind it.
I'm about to hit you guys with some facts.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
When I was a child, my favorite food was Turkish delight.
What are you, Edmund from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
So my
Oh,
favorite book when
yeah.
I was a kid was Edmund was Lion
Your
Witch and the
favorite book
Wardrobe.
was you called it
Yeah,
Edmund.
Edmund. Well, in Voyage of the Dawn Treader, he is kind of the main character.
It also makes so much sense that that's your favorite book because he's like the kid that he's like, I'm actually cool if you just got the time to
Yeah,
know
totally.
me. Everyone
Totally,
fucking
totally.
shits on me. I'm Edmund.
I loved
they
the
should have called him Haste.
I was like a huge Chronicles of Narnia guy when I was like 6 or 7,
And now you're a Cron guy.
and Edmund was my favorite one, and so I ate a lot of Turkish delight.
Do you ever think about
and I
changing
really
your
like
name
it.
to Edmund Hastings?
I still really like the Turkish delight chocolate bars, like the Cadbury runs, as a nostalgic childhood
Do
thing.
you like the ones that are pure powdery?
the proper traditional more traditional ones? I like them a lot as well, but as a more that's how I've aged into my palate.
Hmm.
Turkish delight ice cream bullshit. Turkish Delight ice cream bars. I've swung back around. Not bad.
I've never had the ice cream bar.
You'd hate them. They're awful. It's like a weird. They taste like the chocolate bar. It's a bit odd.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like
love the
frozen
chocolate
ice
bar,
cream.
but
It's
I-
like frozen jelly. It's
I
weird.
don't love the chocolate bar, but I do like actual Turkish
So
Delight.
if we move now to store bought, do we
Yes.
fuck off Ben and Jerry's out the window because we've already done like chocolate chip cookie?
Well, it's
dough?
not
Yeah,
store
it's
bought.
like
This
its
is like
own thing.
ice cream bar you can get, and I think also no ice blocks.
I guess
'cause
you
that's
can't.
different.
Yeah, I guess you can't go to a restaurant and get a fucking Calippo or a Magnum, right?
No ice
Yeah.
blocks.
Oh no, Magnum is included in this.
Where does that leave the humble
No,
splice?
I was saying like, I
Well, there's ice cream in it, so
Yeah, all right, okay, fair enough.
I more meant like Magnum's included in like a store bought, but like you don't go to an ice creamery and be like, give me a fucking Magnum.
Yeah.
Like, if you do, you're a, what we call basic bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get a Magnum, but I would never say it's my favorite.
Hmm.
But I'll go get a Magnum. I'll often get a flavored Magnum, like an Ego or a white chocolate or a choc chip or a chocolate chip
yeah.
mint or whatever. But if it's like a hot summer's day, like if I'm feeling it, right? If the sun's beating down and my brow is sweating, I'm looking for something simple. I'm looking for something that'll melt in my mouth. That chocolate vanilla, something about vanilla is so refreshing. You get that chocolate to make it a bit indulgent. Ooh, summer afternoon, summer loving.
See, I think the problem with ice cream, right, and it's not a problem because I do love ice cream, is that like as you get older, when the sun is beating down and your forehead is sweating, you immediately gravitate towards getting a beer.
Yeah, that's true.
or an ice block.
No, even
I'll get
that,
a nice block for the walk.
Even that, I would probably be
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'm going to get like a fucking Coca-Cola.
The other thing as well is I'll get an ice block after some beers. I'll get an ice block on the way to some beers because it's just essentially sugar water frozen, but you can't be fucking with milk.
Yeah, it's
in
like
the
having a
proximity to
lemonade
the
or
See,
beer.
like
something.
I'd be getting like, if it was cold, I'd just get like, my preference would be to go get a Coca-Cola in a glass bottle.
Oh.
And that I would fuck with more than an icy polo or an ice cream.
Yet it, dude, this is more.
And then I would go beer, but like ice cream has to be a specific, like, hey, let's go get ice cream, and then I'd be all over it.
If I was going to go for the drink for refresh, I'd go for a lime jarritos.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
Do you
too.
They're
ever-
not
like
big
a
enough. I wish they could sold it like double the size.
fucking peach iced tea though. Too.
Oh, dude, that's if I'm on. So I got two, right? If I'm on the go, if I'm on the move, right, I'll either go a peach iced tea or some sort of mineral water, but usually a peach iced tea. But this is a little life hack for y'all, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to drop some knowledge on you.
Please.
Can't wait.
Yeah, you're. What's the? How does Straight Outta Compton start? You are now listening to the power of street knowledge.
Yo, teach.
Anyway,
I'm going to say the N word pretty quickly, I believe.
I mean the album, not the movie.
How does it
No,
start?
like-
In the although I think they actually start the same way.
No,
Yeah, it does.
I'm thinking of Fuck the Police.
Ah, yes. No, the album Straight Outta Compton starts with you are now listening to the power of street knowledge or some shit. Anyway, I'm dropping some street knowledge on you. This is more for your stay at. This is for your lazy man. You're staying at home, right? But on a summer
I'm listening.
afternoon, right? And let's say you're living in a shitty share house that doesn't have air conditioning because it's Hastings 5 years ago, right?
I'm not listening.
Let's also say so you don't have air conditioning. It's a hot summer's day in Mossman or wherever I'm living at the time.
I was never listening.
All right. And let's say you've had 25 cones. Let's say,
Well, you probably got a bit of cotton mouth.
Yes, a very normal scenario I can relate to.
and it's like also back then, like I was technically smoking less weed, but I had my weed problem under less control, so I was more fucked up all the time. I was remember being very high that whole time, like way too high.
Right, move to the ice creams, please.
We're talking drinks, right?
No, but he needs to think about weed so he can think about ice cream.
I'm putting
He
myself
needs
in
to
there.
think about
No,
weed
no,
to
we're
think
talking
about being hungry.
We're taking a detour over outcome. We're talking summer day drinks.
Oh, yeah.
What
Right.
you do, right, is you go down to the 7-Eleven that's next door to your house, right? You get 3 Gatorades for $7, which is a deal they do. And what you do is over the course of the next 48 hours,
You make
drink
3 bongs out of the Gatorade bottles. You pour them straight down the
Yeah, it
sink.
sounds
Man.
like that's what you're doing.
You drink
Yeah.
all 3 Gatorades in the space of about 48 hours. You'll be well hydrated. You'll have your sugar up. You know, your electrolytes are flowing. It's your cotton mouth is sorted. It cools you down. It's this big. It's not carbonated, so you can hit it pretty quick. But it's
You
not
can
a juice,
bowl
so
as fast as Brett Lee.
It's like a good Gatorade is a good drink for when you need fluid quickly by design.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately catered perfectly to cottonmouth stoners on a really hot day and they don't want to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
It's perfect. I recommend it more. There's more of the listeners than you
So
guys.
your life hack is buy 3 Gatorades.
for $7.
That's not. It's not really a hack.
And
That's not a hack. That's just, hey, here's a deal I used to get.
Here's something stupid.
If you're going to smoke
something fucking
an
stupid,
irresponsible amount of weed,
This was
then
a-
you get 3 Gatorades
This
for
was
$7
also
bucks.
like this was a while ago. I was doing this. I was doing this in Monavale and also in Bagala. It's like this was around the time I started to like really put on weight.
Right.
This is around the time I started to really pile it on.
Well, I want to introduce this into the conversation now because you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you fuck with the frozen Coke or the frozen like drink?
Great. So I don't. But a
Me
vet-
neither, really.
But a vet, it's like a vet's favorite. So I'll often have one by sort of default.
So I know people are like at movies.
They're a
people are
chore.
like you've got to get a fucking
Nah, they're a
frozen
chore.
Coke, and you do both. And I'm like, but like after 2 minutes, like
Yeah.
it's kind of just like digging.
It's just
like,
yeah.
give me a fucking full Coke.
Well,
Like,
then
you can't-
eventually it's also just kind of ice and you've sucked all the flavor out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that flavor is
it's the same thing with like frozen margaritas and daiquiris and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like they sound appealing, but it's too much work.
when
Yeah.
you like the flavors in the frozen shit because it's based on like obviously based on like a cordial solution type thing.
Yeah.
The flavors aren't as like distinct. Like when it all starts to melt down in that fucking cup, it just tastes like sugar. It doesn't even taste like Coke anymore, really. It's also there's no carbonation. It's I think it's a scam.
Cool. All right.
All right, so here we go.
Store bought.
So we do,
Oh, sorry, guys.
here's what I vote. We've all just done top 3s, so we'll do top 3 store bought, and then you can chuck on an ice block.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right.
Man, I might have to fucking dig into my mind palace to remember what kind of ice blocks they are. And because I might be like, oh yeah, I love one. It's called Herr Grubenschlager. And you're like, what? It's called Icy Pole.
All right. I'll hit you with some knowledge. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Top 3 store bought. Maxi Bon, original.
Dip.
Yeah. Then I'm probably probably a Magnum if I'm being honest. Call me basic all you like,
Yeah.
but like
Which Magnum?
probably an Ego if I had to
Yeah.
pick.
Ego
Yeah.
is the best Magnum
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Then from that I would
Too many cunts out there saying almond, and I'm like, don't just
Nah,
fuck
get
Alright.
the fuck out.
off. Get the fuck
I'm gonna
out of
hit you.
here.
I'm gonna hit you with the humble rainbow paddle pop, a personal favorite of mine. Caramel flavored, famously, but
okay.
it's a rainbow paddle
If you'll
pop.
remember, in a split bill that we did together, I actually did quite a big rant about Rainbow Paddle Pops.
I never watched your sets.
I
It was 6
I
years
might
ago.
I might go.
But don't you remember like they took the bluey green color out
Oh,
of
I
it?
did. Was that your bit?
Yeah.
I remember that bit.
Hastings been doing that
Yeah.
bit for years.
I've been doing that bit for
But it's
years,
like-
dude.
but it's
Only
now just-
at gigs where you're not there for
But
some reason.
it's still like that, and it's just yellow, pink, and purple. But the pink and purple mushed together to create one thing. You're like, what is rainbow about this? And why did they get rid of the color?
It's yellow and pink.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
why did-
The reason I've thought about it is because I've eaten a lot of rainbow paddle pops in that time, and I've been like, this doesn't look like a rainbow. And
Yeah.
I've gone, I think someone has a bit about that.
Like, was it like poison?
Yeah,
why did
it
they
was
take
probably
it out?
more expensive, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's,
probably.
That's the driver behind most decisions. Big ice cream make.
Yeah. Rose, what's
Streets.
yours?
Okay, number 1, I'm also going to say Maxi Bomb, but I'm going to say Honeycomb.
Ooh.
It's objectively the best store-bought ice cream.
Oh, sorry, I didn't chuck on an icy pole.
Oh, yeah.
I
Was it Icy Pole?
No,
No.
Calippo.
Yeah.
Which Clipper? There's a couple.
The red one.
The red.
Like the red
Okay.
package with the
Right.
yellow and red inside.
So we're going to have some similar and different opinions.
I'm gonna
'Cause
go.
I've
I'm
got
also still a child, so I go like red for it. I'm like, I want the red
Yeah,
one.
red is
I
cool.
want the red one.
I got Honeycomb Maxi Bon. Then you're probably supposed to say Monaco, but I'm going to pronounce it Monaco Bar.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
it's
It's
like
just like an ice cream sandwich, but it's so
it's
good.
kind of
Okay.
like both of the good halves of the Maxi Bon, but it's a
Yeah.
little more subtle. It's a bit more grown up.
It's thinner.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Monaco,
for a
but
while
they
I
make
was
a good bar.
for a while I was favoring that over Maxi Bon because like Maxi Bon's number 1 for me.
Cheaper as well.
Yeah, and because I was like, well, it's all the good part. But then I realized, I don't know, maybe I liked the variety, or maybe it's the different elements are better or something. But I was drawn back, and I'm kind of stuck with it. Also, sorry, this isn't on the list, but real quick, did you see John Cruikshank made another one of those like Lad Bible videos where he goes Australian food versus another nation's food?
Yeah.
Very funny. Check him out. John Cruikshank, great comedian. Like his Facebook page and shit. Check it out. Funny video. He's talking to some French dude about French foods and their Australian equivalents, and they swap over.
It's Italian.
Whatever.
He's done French too.
Oh, right. Okay. I just
Yeah, I
said
think the
Italian
French
one.
was the... Well, this one
The
did have
French was the
gelato.
first.
Yeah, right, you're right. So the second one is how he does it. So it's a guy
Did
who
you
has...
say the French was gelato? Because gelato
No,
is
I know.
Italian.
That's why I'm... Yeah, you're,
No, he got it right,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
also wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Jamie got that. Yeah. So for the Italian guy, he swaps him a bit of like fancy gelato for a golden gay time. And as soon as the Italian guy had the gay time, his reaction was like, "Oh, I don't like this at all." And my first reaction in my gut was like, "Oh, people are gonna fucking hate that." Golden gay times are like a weird Australian thing. And Shank right on cue was just like, "Oh, they're gonna hate that." Like called it right away. And it's like I think it's cool that like we've all kind of decided that Golden Gate Time is a defensible Australian icon. Like,
Well, I think it's the same
what a
thing with
segue
it's
into the
same-
third thing I was going to say, which was gay time.
Yeah,
It's
I should've
also
saved
the,
it.
to be
No, that
honest-
was a good little.
To be honest, man, I think it's also the same with the Maxi Bond. Like,
Sure,
the amount
right.
of people like being like the best part of the Maxi Bond is the blah part. It's like,
But no one's quite united on which is the best Maxi Bond.
no one's united on which is the best
So,
flavor. But the best.
I was
way to
dating
eat
someone
it,
earlier
like,
in the
people
year
are
who
pretty
preferred
specific on.
Me and Ben Elwood had a theory for a while about like what it says about you, about how you eat your Maxi Bond. We were joking around about that for a few
I
weeks.
think if you don't eat the biscuit half second, then you must be a psychopath of some description.
All right, so here's my. All right, this is perfect. All right, so it doesn't actually matter which side you eat first. It matters what side you prefer and which side. So do you eat your preferred side first or your non-preferred side first?
Preferred side second, and also
So you say
logistical
that-
side second. Yes.
Yeah, logistically, your argument makes sense, and we'll feed into the point I'm about to make. James, if you would you eat the preferred side or you just save the good side?
Maxi Bond is chocolate and the biscuit, right?
Yeah, well, half's chocolate biscuit, half's like crunchy ice cream.
Yeah, shit. Let me look at a picture
Alright.
because like I've not eaten that many Maxi Bonds
All right,
to be honest.
you do that. I'll tell you the theory, right? So
I do like them.
we got into an argument with someone at the back of Monk Kettle about this, where they were saying that what you were saying, how you should save the better half for second, and also logistically that makes sense, right?
I like the biscuity part more.
Yeah. So which part
Yeah.
would you eat first if you're eating Maxi Bond?
Probably the chocolatey part because I think it would melt.
Yeah, it
right.
melts in your hand. Like
Yeah.
it's just foolish,
You're
even
abs-
if you like it better.
You're absolutely right? So me and Ben Elwood both like the biscuit side more, right? So there's now two, and you know the reason to save the biscuit side second makes sense, right? Both of us. Looking at the time there, James.
What are we up to? Oh, what would you rather? We talk about cum again?
I think we could do it. I think we could do
crushed
the
it.
whole episode about ice
No,
cream.
it's my favorite movie.
But we could do
I
it
mean, we
again.
don't have to be at the pub until 9. So.
Oh my god, no! I have stuff to do and places to be. I'm meeting up with Charlie.
You have to smoke weed.
That's something to do. No plans are plans.
We're supposed to be doing something nice with Rose.
Yeah, I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna go do something else.
Right.
After that, we're
Come
doing
on.
both.
All right.
So, what was I saying? Something about. Oh yeah, right. So me and Elwood both eat the biscuit side first, and both prefer the biscuit side.
You psycho.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me because you're both kind of like impulsive.
Yeah. So and then it was just
That's
like, oh,
true.
and also we're both drug addicts. Like it's
Yeah.
it's the exact same.
You
It's-
get that hit straight away.
You get the hit straight away, and it's also like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. I could die before I get to the second half.
Yeah.
Like, give me the pleasure now because I don't know what's going to fucking happen. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I think
Yeah.
that's like, I always know what I want, but I'm willing to wait.
I am not.
Which is, you know,
I am an impulsive.
why surgery's so far away. Did you ever have the Golden Gate Time sandwich?
Oh no, I don't think so. Actually,
It was a colossal disappointment.
Colossal's a huge word to describe a
Well,
disappointing
it's-
ice cream.
Imagine combining like your number
That's
one
true.
ice cream with your number 3, and then it not even
Yeah,
ranking
I
anywhere in there.
because Golden Gate Time would be in my top 5. Like I gotta say, I would be very interested to try one.
You can still get them at your regular
you
convenience
haven't
store.
done the poll yet.
I was getting to that. Mine is also Calippo, but mine's just the Origi-Dig yellow.
Ooh,
All
reminds
right.
me of being at the zoo when I was a kid.
I remember, it reminds me of being at the Olympics in 2000, and because we went and watched the basketball, and I think we watched like Yugoslavia versus Canada, Australia versus Canada and Yugoslavia versus Russia,
Sick.
which looking back, Yugoslavia versus Russia would have been a fucking great game.
Yeah,
But it was so fucking hot in the stadium that we punished like 4 Calippos, like each.
were you here for the Olympics?
I had just moved here, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
fuck
Did you
yeah.
go to
I
anything?
I saw the women's gymnastic like training.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty sexy.
I saw indoor volleyball, but I didn't know that was different to beach volleyball.
You didn't
Very
You
disappointed.
didn't know that they didn't have like the underwear
Yeah.
half up their butt.
Yeah, there's like 5 people on a team and shit. I saw that. I saw the Australian women's hockey team, which were like superstars. Like that was cool to see. I saw them in like
Yeah.
a qualifying thing or whatever. And I saw like a track and field day, which was probably the best one I saw. That was so cool.
The tickets wouldn't have been cheap for that.
That was my famous uncle got them for me.
All right.
Yeah, he was
All
a
right.
torchbearer, so we got.
I can do mine.
What do you got?
I'm gonna lead with the humble magnum, and I would it would be a toss up for me between the ego, which is just like pure indulgence because it's got the multiple layers and the
Decadence.
caramel,
Yeah,
or just the simple white chocolate because I'm a big white chocolate fan.
yeah, I'm a big white chocolate fan. Too.
I don't mind a bit of white chocolate.
Often there's no chocolate in white chocolate. Interesting.
There isn't any at all.
I think
It's
there
technically not chocolate.
Oh, okay, cool.
My second
Mm-hmm.
would be, and it hasn't been mentioned yet, the cornetto.
Ooh, I do go for the cornetto a bit.
I do and cornetto is like when you're growing up a little. Cornetto seems like a thing that's something for the adults.
Yeah,
feels
it's
a bit
mummy's
more
and daddy's
adult, yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
when I was a
and
kid-
it's kind of like you're just like, oh, I fucking like know what cone ice cream is. Like,
Yeah,
I want something that looks weird and has colors and shit.
Yeah.
Give me a Buffalo Bill.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
also I don't really fuck with nuts in my ice cream.
Oh, I like nuts. I would. I was thinking. I was thinking about mentioning Buffalo Bill, but like, if I had a Buffalo Bill today, I'd be like, "This sucks." Like,
Oh, I reckon
I had one a few years ago. It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like
Really?
like
But-
bubble,
but
the
was it
bubble
that
gum.
Oh, the
bad?
bubble
No,
gum's
no.
well,
Well, because
the
like
worst
the
bubble gum you'll ever
the
eat.
Yeah,
bubble
it's
gum part
terrible.
is like when I went. I went to Spain and they used to have Super Mario ice cream,
Mm.
and this was like in 1991. So like Super Mario 3 has just
Fuck.
come out.
Spain
and, like,
sounds so cool.
But like it used to have Super Mario ice cream where like it was essentially a Buffalo Bill, but like Mario's nose was that,
Oh,
and you just
yeah,
used
yeah.
to be like, "Fuck, it's Mario ice cream," and you get because bubblegum for children for some reason is so alluring. Like
Yeah.
you always are like, "Yeah, I've got to get."
because you're not allowed it at school.
Yeah, and because like the idea of blowing a bubble, I think seems kind of cool. Like I
Yeah,
remember,
gimmickry.
I remember like being like obsessed with like getting hold of Hubba Bubba.
Hold on,
and
I'm working
stuff.
on something on blowing a bubble. Blowing. All the bubbles I can think of are inappropriate. It's either bubbles from the Spice Girls, and that's a child.
Blowing a
girl.
lefty bubble.
Okay.
Of queer
And then I was
people?
thinking of bubbles from, like as in
Powerpuff
Michael
Girls.
Jackson's
The-
Monkey, but
the
that's
ch-
also
Oh,
a joke
right.
from The Office then, where he
Yeah.
goes forever blowing bubbles. Is the
Did you know one day that Bubbles savagely attacked Michael Jackson, and that's why Bubbles just suddenly disappeared?
really?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Well, monkeys will do that. Monkeys, great eye for pedophiles.
Like it's like an old Sarah Kendall bit or whatever, but like it's such a good. I'm just like, how much honestly would you have paid to be there at the moment that a
Oh,
chimp just
yeah.
snapped? Like that'd be the best thing you've ever seen in your life.
yeah, man.
So what's my third? The third isn't the poll. We've got a third and then a poll.
Yeah.
Do you need time to think? Because I've got something
Alright.
to bring
I know.
up.
I know what the poll is. The poll is Cyclone.
Oh, cyclones
Okay,
are good.
yeah.
They're mostly made with apple juice. I found out recently.
Yeah.
I've got while you're thinking,
They're like not that bad. For
I've
you.
got a good ice
I also
block
like
thing.
the Cola Calippo.
Ooh.
There's a cola one.
They used to be where I lived.
Man, I'd
Spain
fuck
sounds
with
so fucking cool.
that. Yeah, I'd fuck with that.
I want to
But,
get one of these Spanish ice cream. You're Spanish, right?
Yeah.
There was
See?
Hola.
there used to be a
Si,
thing.
senor.
There used to be a thing growing up, which was called like Iceman or something like that, and I just lived for the gimmick of it, which was essentially just an icy pole with a like gummy man like in the middle. I
think I remember that.
So
I think I remember that.
I fucking smashed heaps of them.
I don't know what
I'd
the
love one
name
of them.
was, but there was also like a great icy pole that was like kind of shaped like a rocket ship, and it was like kind of like blue, white, and red.
Yeah. I
Oh,
remember
that
what
was
you
your
mean.
dad's dick.
Oh, that's why I liked it so much.
Yes.
I remember what you mean.
There was one I remember when I was a kid where you dig and like it was like a tub one, like the paddle pop tubs or whatever. It wasn't paddle pop.
Yeah.
You get a little plastic spoon and there'd be like bone. It would be like graveyard themed, and there would be like bones, like lolly bones throughout. So you're like digging up
That's
dead
kinda
bodies
cool.
and eating it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, pretty informative for me. I think that's like probably like number one best emo thing is like 3 Cheers Sweet Revenge by Malcolm Romance. Number 2 is probably that ice cream.
God, maybe you could do a whole podcast about ice cream.
Yeah, maybe we
We're
should.
very close.
Yeah.
Nope.
I have one more, right?
Yeah,
I'm
one
just
more.
trying to think about it. There's one that's like just like it's kind of like a combination between pole and ice cream that I swear is just like Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, just a regular. That's it. I'm being an idiot. A regular chocolate paddle pop.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Classic,
Yeah.
elegant.
That's great.
Yeah.
Remember Billabongs when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Basically,
I'm
the
looking
same
It's just
thing.
like
I had to look up all this shit, so now like
Now you're hungry.
it was just
well,
the
no,
off-brand
now I'm
paddle
just like,
pop.
oh fuck, I can't believe all the ones I forgot. Like, I never really fuck with splices or
Yeah, I never
the
hugely
Wheaties.
got
Splices.
into that.
I was a big Splice guy.
Buzz. What else didn't I fuck
You're
with?
looking at some junky article. Of
Yeah. Well, because I figured that.
Oh, I think I've read that.
Because I figured that'd be the most helpful, like, to
Yeah.
just look at these.
Remember
fucking idiots.
this?
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, Buffalo Bill kind of sucks. Yeah, Lemonade Icy Pole's not honestly that bad either.
They're pretty good,
Man,
really.
they're
like,
pretty
You know what?
solid.
I
It's hard to
never,
beat.
I like
never-
raspberry.
I never really fucked with Zupa Dupas, and people like them a lot.
Yeah.
I think the attachment to Zuba Dupas is more like a nostalgic cultural thing rather than an actual.
I kind of
yeah,
view
like,
it as
literally
remember,
frozen-
like,
it's frozen
being in the
cordial,
pool
like-
and someone giving
Yeah, it's
kinda-
just frozen cordial.
I kind of view it as the same thing as like, you know, when you'd get like the tape of gum. that
Yeah.
you could just, or like push pops where you're like, the fact that it's
It's a
not a
gimmick.
traditional
Yeah.
eating mechanism. Like, I used to love push pops,
Same.
but it's literally just like licking.
I used to like roll up, like the roll ups,
Fruit roll-ups?
the ones that were like a meter long and
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
coiled into a
Yeah,
thing.
I like
We had
fruit
them.
roll-ups.
Yeah.
I think if I ate a fruit roll-up now, though, I'd
You
be
would
like,
throw
Oh, it
up
would
on
be
yourself.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's like, what was that? Richard Jenny used to have a fucking joke about that, where he's like, people talk about all their culinary delights that they've made in their country, and he's like, yeah, well, America's made the fruit roll-up. You can like 3-hole punch it and stick it in a loose leaf.
There's one, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. Let me just see what it's called. But like, I was obsessed with these snacks when I was a kid. And like, but always like, I never had them. My friend had them.
Were they pods?
They were kind of pod-like. They were called cartoonies.
I don't know if I remember that.
And oh yeah, here we go. They've got them. Oh, it's a British thing. So it's kind of like it's like a biscuit thing with It's a biscuit thing with like cartoon characters on it. There's
Right.
like generic ones that they
Yeah,
come
yeah.
up with.
Never seen
and you
that.
bite in. It's like a sweet little bite of chocolate. Those I fucked with.
Man.
Although I wonder if those would hold up for me.
All right, on 3, everyone, your favorite decade, 90s.
Remember them? Remember? I love Rugrats. Anyway, welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All, a podcast about ice creams, ice blocks, and everything found in the freezer at your local convenience store. This week, we're doing Rushmore. It's a 1998 American coming-of-age comedy drama film directed by Wes Anderson about an eccentric teenager named Max Fisher, Jason Schwartzman in his film debut, his friendship with rich industrialist Herman Bloom, played by Bill Murray, and their love in common for elementary school teacher Rosemary Cross, played by Olivia Williams. The film was co-written by Anderson and Owen Wilson.
Yes.
Sick. To the next step.
To the next I'd love to actually do that. That would be fun.
So this is my favorite movie. It's like it's in a tie with 2 other movies for my favorite movie. But
I was going to say, I've heard
Donnie
you
Darko
say that
and
you...
Napoleon
I
Dynamite.
recently it's not Napoleon Dynamite anymore. I've recently reviewed my favorite movies.
Right, because I was going to say...
Oh no,
I've heard-
fuck, 4-way tie. I forgot about the 4th one.
Right. I was going to say, I've heard you talk about liking this movie, but I've never heard you say favourite until the last day or so.
Yeah, I would say it's in a 4-way tie for my favorite movie with Fight Club,
What are others?
Fight Club, Rocky Horror, and
Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club.
yeah,
And Venom.
the book Fight Club. No, Fight Club, Rocky Horror, and The Shining are probably my favorites. But this is my favorite movie. This is like equally my favorite movie. I watched it a couple days ago. I watched it like earlier in the year as well, or maybe it was late last year or whatever. I've seen this movie a million times. I love it. It's a huge thing for me. I was delighted to watch it the other day with Yvette. She'd never seen it. I was doing the like, this movie's important to
Did
me.
she like it?
You better pay attention. She did not like it.
Of course she didn't like it. I couldn't imagine her enjoying
Yeah.
this movie at all.
I thought she'd like it. I think she'd like Tenenbaums better, but I thought she'd like it a bit. She didn't like hate it, but she didn't like. She was kind of like, I don't think I got it. And I was like, all right.
You were like, you idiot.
For getting a divorce.
Yeah, watching this movie and watching Jason Schwartzman's character and Bill Murray.
God, what actors?
I was they were both very good. Jason Schwartzman especially.
He was so good.
But
Film
watching
debut.
it, I was just like, I can't figure out which one Hastings idolizes and wants to be, but I know it's one or both of
My
them.
guess would have
Jamie,
been...
they're the same guy.
Yeah, that is,
But my guess, if you had to pick one, would be Jason Schwartzman because of the whole Arrested Development thing.
my
in
guess
Hastings'
would
life.
be Bill
Both.
Murray.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both. Ultimately they're two.
And I watched it and wanted to be Miss Cross.
Oh man, I would love to. I would just fucking. No, it's like they're kind of.
I want it to be Dirk.
They're not saying
Wes Anderson is good at getting kids who can act.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Moonrise Kingdom. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that too.
There's kids. The kids who play Ben Stiller's kids in Royal Tenenbaums as well are so good.
Oh yeah, they're good.
But no, it's like they obviously have like different things and they're different characters, but like they're both isolated, lonely, kind of not happy with them. So they share a connection. Those two characters,
Yeah.
Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman, and I identify what they share. I identify.
But when
with.
did you first watch this movie?
Probably when I was like 14.
So you wanted to be Jason Schwartzman then?
I didn't want to be Jason Schwartzman. I was like, I resented that I could see Jason Schwartzman in myself, and I could like. You're not supposed to want to be like that character. I got the movie when I
You
was
at
a kid.
14, I can't imagine, was overly like Jason Schwartzman in this.
Are
you going and
no.
doing all these extracurriculars?
I was captain of the chess team, captain of the
bong
debate.
club.
I was in the debate team in primary school. I was captain of the chess team. I was in the union team, the league team. I was playing league on the weekends, and I was in the church band, the big band, and my own band. And I did bass lessons. I did a lot of extracurricular activities. I loved extracurricular.
Is that why you just
Were you
smoked too
bad
many
at school?
bongs now? You're just tired?
Yes. Exactly.
Hastings peaked too early.
Yes. Exactly.
Why do you
Jamie.
think I dressed
I'm
how I
done.
dressed back then?
This is my retirement.
We figure so many
I
things
peaked
out
in
this
Adelaide in
podcast.
2016. I'm sorry.
I was there. You did. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's not like laugh out loud funny.
Yeah, I didn't laugh out loud once.
I laughed out loud like a couple of times, but like it's not
It's
like
not supposed to be laugh out loud.
yeah, it's meant to be whimsical.
But I feel like you could at least get one or two like big laughs. Like
one or
It's
two-
not like I didn't not enjoy the movie.
It's more just a different type of not a different. That's so douchey to say. It's going for a different type of laugh, but it's like it's not supposed to be that kind of funny. It's
Yeah.
It's more supposed to be like it's more like it's a feeling of funny, and it's like this whole thing's.
This
things are
movie
going
quite
on.
often turns up on lists of best comedies of all time.
So as having seen it, yeah, as it should. It's my favorite comedy. It's as seen it 100 times. I'll laugh out loud at it, but just thinking about it 6 months after I last watched it, just being like,
Yeah.
"Fuck!" Remember, oh god, and he screams like "hit!" I wrote a hit play at the guy. That's like, man, that's like
The dinner scene
The dinner
with
scene's
Luke
like one of my
Wilson
favourite
is so
scenes.
funny, and it is very like you.
yeah. But just the way his response is. His response. I think the question is, Max, what's gotten into you? And he just goes, "I wrote a hit play."
Yeah.
I love that. It's
the-
so. Oh god, I
that
really
is-
connect to
The
him.
OR,
really,
the
yeah.
OR line made me laugh out loud.
What's the
one?
OR line again?
Where he's like, I wear this in the OR,
Oh,
and he
yeah,
says,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he like looks around for a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. The first scene with Miss Cross, where he's like on the bleacher and he keeps moving, like he's moving to the front of the bleacher and the back of the bleacher, and he comes
Very
to his next
Hastings.
Mm.
That's not so Hastings, but I really like that scene.
He would have got in the grill straight away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have been asking her for nudes.
Yeah. Also, like the big montage where they get revenge on each other is great. It's like, oh man, this movie just makes me feel good. I really love this movie.
So surprised you haven't brought up the brand new thing yet.
There's a few emo things. There's 3 emo things with this movie.
Okay, 3 because I remembered 2.
Yeah.
which was
The
obviously
the
that.
I'm Not Okay video is like pretty loosely parodying it. Like it's pretty directly parodying
Okay,
it.
that's not what it was. There was a third
There's Fall Out
musical
Boy.
related. Well, there was that, which is, I think, whether or not you like Fall Out Boy or whether or not you like the fact that it's a reference to Rushmore, that is one of the worst song titles of all time.
That's the
That is
beauty of Fall Out Boy.
Absolutely terrible.
That's not even one of the top 10 worst Fall Out Boy song titles.
Which
Yeah.
speaks to a much greater problem
Look,
with the band.
But the songs are great.
It was a
No.
trend at the time. It was I quite like.
Everyone was Fall Out Boy popularized.
I
overly
quite
long
like. It's
titles.
famously a Fall Out Boy thing originally, right? Like they did it before Panic did and all that sort of shit, right?
In the emo scene, yes.
yeah, I know. I don't think
But
they were
also,
the first musicians.
but also, like post-rock bands have been doing it for longer than that because they don't have any
I mean,
fucking
Fiona
lyrics, so
Apple's
they've
been
got like.
doing it for years too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, sure. But when Panic at the Disco were doing it, I think they were doing it because Fall Out Boy did it.
But
Yeah.
like, but post-rock bands did it like wankily because they don't have any lyrics, so they just put like whatever in the song. Like there was this band called Laura from Melbourne who had a song called like it's kind of like the innocent smiles you get at the beginning of a relationship before you fuck everything up.
Yeah, that's nowhere near as cool as Tell That Mickey just made my list of things to do today.
One of my favorite Fall Out Boy songs.
It's a great Fall Out Boy song. It's the first song on their first album.
It was actually the first song of theirs I heard because it came on some Blunt magazine sampler.
It's a great track.
And I didn't like it
does
then,
rock.
and I don't like it now.
I think Patrick Stump's singing. I think I prefer Patrick Stump singing on the first two albums before he gets like too jazzy.
No, I disagree. I think he gets really like he's
Although
a
to be fair,
very good.
I've barely
singer.
listened post like Folly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is just a very good singer.
Oh,
Anyway,
undeniably.
somewhere later in the movie...
So just for the clarification, the three things we're talking about is brand new have a song named after a quote from this, which is "Sick Transit Glory, Glory Fades."
Which do you think sort of also, in like the storyline of this, sort of
yeah,
inspired that? Because it's about fucking an older woman.
I don't think it inspired it. I think that he saw a connection. But yeah,
Yeah.
the song mirrors in some ways what happens in the film. Then there's the song "Tell That Mickey Just Made My List of Things to Do Today," which is a quote from the movie, and the "I'm Not Okay" video from My Chemical
There was a
Romance
third-
is a pretty close parody.
There was a third reference as well,
Sort
which
of.
I just cannot remember. I looked it up before we started and I couldn't find it, but like I think it's because they're songs, but I think there was also a band that must have
I'm
named
sure.
themselves after something which was like later than both of those things in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
It's not unlikely.
Also,
It's a big emo movie. Like it's
interesting in this is Alexis Bledel is just an extra.
Yeah, she's there.
Who's that?
She's Rory Gilmore.
Oh fuck! I didn't notice that.
Like when he first starts at the Grover Cleveland, like sitting
here you
to
go.
the right of him is just Alexis Bledel.
Here you go, Rose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you've heard of the hardcore band Every Time I Die, but
I
they're great,
have.
and they have a song called "She's My Rushmore." There's also
that's like one of my. That's like one
You're
of
probably looking at the
I
same
love
thread that
yeah.
I was, and I couldn't find it in there.
no, so it's not that.
No, I'm fairly certain it was a band was called something that was said, but I don't know. I'd have to read the fucking script.
Sky Eats Aeroplane. I don't know. It's just
Like,
the,
I
just the
wouldn't-
worst band name I could think
I
of.
wouldn't be surprised.
Do you remember Sky Eats Aeroplane? Awful.
No.
They were like kind of like an Ed Shikari ripoff, almost, sort of.
Dear oh dear.
Yeah, kind of bridge the gap between Ed Shikari and Attack Attack, if that puts it in context for anyone.
I don't really know that band either.
Attack
They're the
Attack.
Crabcore
Stick
band.
Stickly.
Yeah, they're the famous Crabcore band. Yep. Also known for their cover of "I Kissed a Girl" by Katy Perry.
Oh,
Well, I
that would be
bet it's
great.
great.
It's dog shit. So auto-tune. It's because they're
course
the
it is.
auto-tune shit. Anyway, I laughed out loud a lot in this. When Bill Murray's crying in his dumb Vietnam play, I laughed at that a lot.
Yeah, that's funny.
His like overreaction.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's heaps of good shit. It's just like
I like the dynamic between him and the Scottish kid.
Yeah, that's great. The speech Bill Murray gives at the start where like no one's reacting, but he's in a fancy private school just saying, "Take down the rich kids."
Yeah.
Just take aim at the rich kids. That's great. But yeah, I like the music in it a lot. Do you know what? You remember the other day when we did the Adventureland episode and I was saying like it was full of free hits? I didn't know any of the songs. There may be a couple, but I didn't really
knew
know
it.
the songs.
I knew a
from
couple.
This is a good.
Oh, Yoko.
card. Yeah, I knew that. I knew the Who one. And there
Cat
was-
Stevens.
I know Cat Stevens. I
The
didn't
one
know
that's
that song.
like,
I recognize
"Here
his
she
voice.
come now." Dun-dun-dun,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dun-dun-dun. That
No,
was in
I
an
know-
that was in an episode of Scrubs.
I
You
think
know why?
I probably
though?
know
It's
that from
because
that movie.
It's because
British-
it's
it's all-
older.
yeah.
But it's
I'm
all
saying
taken.
I love the music, but
But
I
it's
was
all
like,
taken
oh.
from British Invasion kind of stuff. And also the music for the movie was done by Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo.
Sure, but the point, that's all great. But the point I'm making is that when I'm talking about free hits, I'm talking about a movie in 2011 with Adventureland reaching back 30, 40 years, close to 40 years, I think.
Well,
was something Velvet
70s is the
Underground.
giant cliche
Yeah.
rock decade.
So they're reaching. So the older it's argument that it's older. Like these are, they weren't picking songs from 1998 in this movie either. They were.
No.
They both movies are reaching back.
Picking them from the same era, just from a different
Yeah,
country.
exactly. So it's like, man, you can pick songs that excite me, that get me going, that fit the tone of the movie, that work with the characters, that maybe aren't a Velvet Underground song, or maybe aren't the third most popular Velvet
They're
Underground
doing
song or whatever.
different things, though.
Yeah.
Sure, totally.
Like, I mean,
But the effect-
Adventureland
yeah.
is pretty clearly doing that stuff to set a time and a place. Whereas
Yeah.
this is like set
It's
in
aesthetic.
any time yeah, this is just Wes Andersoning.
Yeah,
Totally,
like creating
totally.
like an aesthetic that extends to the sound as well as
they're
the color
doing
and
different
everything.
things for different reasons, but I'm putting my complaint about Adventureland in context of like this movie may be like, oh, I don't know this song, but I'm having a great time, and I enjoy that more than I enjoy. Oh, cool, they're doing Pale Blue Eyes. Cool, all right. Or like Juno's another great example, right? Juno, I didn't know who Kimya Dawson was before I saw Juno. I didn't know who the Moldy Peaches.
And I didn't want to know who she was after it.
Really?
Oh,
I thought you'd be a big Kimya Dawson fan.
No, it's so twee. I fucking hate twee.
Is that deeply transphobic of me? Homophobic of me to assume that you were a Kimya Dawson fan?
No, I think you're incorrectly equating some of my music wankery with.
Oh, it's also a lesbian thing.
Okay, yeah, no.
It's a big lesbian artist.
No, I'm more of a tattoo lesbian.
Man, who isn't? Yeah, that video, very informative for the big dog.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I think that's why we're friends.
I was coming back from the beach with B, Bubba Skeller, and Demi Lardner the other day, and we just blasted it. And oh boy, did we have fun.
Yeah. 3 queer women. Great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
It was good shit.
Olivia Williams, then.
Beautiful.
Man, that's oh my god. It's not like a funny scene. The scene where she like turns on him a little bit, where she finally like is like, "What do you think was gonna fucking happen? Like, do you think you'd fuck me and shit?" That is one of the most satisfying. Because like again, like I saw this when I was fucking 14 and shit, and it's such a thing of just like
You were just like, no!
because I remember at the time being like, "Oh, that poor boy," and now seeing it, I'm just like, "Yeah, good." Like,
yeah, well, I watch it now and I'm like, she's the sympathetic character because you're like,
100%.
how often must that happen?
she's written
and
to
like,
be the sympathetic character. She is the sympathetic character. No
Yeah.
doubt. Max is a fucking moron.
because it must be so hard to like be that person where like some little boy fawns after you and you like have to like kind of be nice and try and like
Yeah.
because you don't want to just
She
be
probably
like
shouldn't have
fuck
hung out
off
with
little
him all this
gremlin.
time.
Yeah,
She
but,
did
like,
plenty wrong.
but you know what I mean. But like you don't
Yeah,
want to just be
totally.
like fuck off gremlin boy. But like you don't want them to get the wrong impression.
Yeah.
and
I
everything
do-
like that
they-
because like little
Particularly
boys,
if it's like a lonely kid.
little boys so easily will get the wrong
They
impression.
did take
about that.
pains to do that, I know, in the because I know that when they were picked Jason Schwartzman, they were like, oh yeah, we've got him because he can make him likable despite doing so many awful things.
He's clearly Max is the bad guy for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
Yeah.
that's what again compared to Adventureland. I don't know why I'm comparing it to Adventureland.
Because it was the movie we
It
did
was
last
also
week.
because I had a lot of complaints about it. Even though I thought it was good, I had issues with it. This does so.
Adventureland is better than this.
You know how
movie.
Adventureland.
I
the thing
enjoy
The
Adventureland
thing I
more
kept
than
saying
this.
about Adventureland was how
When you say Adventureland's better than this movie,
you can suck my dick.
present it.
Adventureland,
Don't
like
say that because he will.
I kept saying that. Do I take my dick out? Is it worth the bit if I?
No, you've already taken your balls out on the podcast before.
All right, so Adventureland, I kept saying it was having its cake and eating it too, right? It wanted to do all the Manic Pixie Dream Girl stuff, but while being self-aware and knowing what they're doing. Keep in mind, it's 13 years earlier this was made than Adventureland, but it's got kind of like the quirky writer genius, troubled genius, sympathetic guy, but they qualify and they do it. They've got the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, but they do just enough so that it's just not enough of whatever. So it's like they're still getting they got Lou Reed, but it's like they justified in plot, but it's still at the end of the day, I'm still looking at a Manic Pixie Dream Girl, a sad boy I can project myself onto, and Velvet Underground is still playing, and I'm still getting all the hits in my head from the positives of that and they've just kind of couched it or whatever. Whereas this, like, genuinely, Max is the bad guy. He's being a piece of shit. He tries to make this teacher into his main piece of girl, and she's like, nah, get fucked. She's very much her own character with her own agency. It doesn't feel like something they tried to fix after the first draft. This was written from the ground up as like, no, this guy's a cunt. Like, this guy's actually a kind of a piece of shit, rather than writing this very kind of cliched story and then just fixing it a bit. It felt like they tried to fix Adventureland.
No, I mean, yes and no. Like, I disagree. I think, like, at the heart of Adventureland is a coming-of-age love story. And this
Sure.
is, like, a quirky coming-of-age story that's not about love in
it's-
any way.
It's very much
So,
not
like,
a love
they're
story.
doing,
yeah.
like, a coming-of-age story and being like, how do we spin the trope on its head a little?
Yeah.
Whereas this is just
But if you're
like...
going to spin the trope on its head, you shouldn't still get the positive effects as if you just did the trope.
But what do you want from it? Do you want, like, I mean, like, what do you want from Adventureland? Do you want him to just be a cunt? And because then you've just fucking made Rushmore send an amusement park.
Yeah.
It's like, this
Yeah.
feels like more, like, this feels like so
I think-
far away
I-
from Adventureland. To me, it feels more of a
I
piece
think-
with something like Election.
Yeah, write the characters
Yeah.
better is the answer to your question. Like, they could have just done it. Like, they could have written Kristen Stewart better from the ground up.
But I
They
think
could
those,
have.
I would say that Adventureland kind of like writes teenage characters truer than this movie. Like, this is deeply
Oh,
stylized.
absolutely true.
and,
You're
like,
absolutely right in terms of true. This movie doesn't. this movie isn't
And it's not
realistic
supposed
at
to
all.
be. So like
Yeah.
it's really apples and oranges.
Yeah.
These two movies. Like
For
this feels
sure.
much more of a piece with something like Election,
I
where like
think-
they're deliberately writing someone to be kind of a cunt.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
was
for
thinking-
sure. I'm saying in terms of like it's they definitely fall. They have the same target audience in the terms of me when I was 14. Like that's,
I'm not even. Yeah, I wouldn't even.
I reckon
say
they'd have
that they.
pretty much the same target audience. It's a decade. It's over a
Rushmore and
decade apart.
Adventureland.
Yeah, they're over a decade apart.
I would
I
say
thoroughly
like,
same
disagree.
age groups,
I would-
same
I would-
class
This
shit.
this movie is not being pitched at 14-year-olds.
I would say that the people who have watched Adventureland have probably watched Rushmore, but I don't think they're like we're going for the same thing.
They're definitely not going
Yeah.
for the same thing. I'm not saying that.
and also like Wes Anderson stuff is far more adult, I would say.
Maybe like a couple of years. Wes Anderson's not that adult. I was like loving Wes when I was 15.
But like kids don't like quirky esoteric shit like that.
I think kids like quirky things. Isn't that what all children's media is?
But not to
Like I
this
remember when I was
degree.
14, I did like the colors and the music, and then not in a child way, but in a like, oh, it's like
When
a
I was
fun
14,
world.
I liked The Color and the Shape by Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Now we're back on track.
I mean, like, I do agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially because, like, it to me, like, Adventureland, this fits the mold of like a 14-year-old discovering that movies don't necessarily need to be formula based, but also can succeed within formula and be.
I was probably directly comparing them too much. What I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make is one of the reasons Rushmore is so good is because it is aware of the tropes but doesn't just directly turn on them or use them. It's just sort of like it's a very what's the word I'm trying to. It's very clear in what it's set out to do and it does it well. Whereas Adventureland, I'm like, what are you? It's not clear to me what. It is clear to me, but it seems to me that they wrote of something, saw problems with it, and fixed it. As opposed to this, where it's like they've created something where it's just like, oh, this just. I don't know. I feel like maybe I was supposed to feel the same way in Adventureland that I felt in Rushmore.
I don't think
completely
so.
different ways
Yeah, I
of
don't
achieving
think
it,
so.
but it's the kind of
I-
like coming of age, this like kind of like weird kid, this kind of
I agree.
as a 15-year-old boy, it's very like you project yourself onto the main character.
I agree with Jamie's thing about like the comparison to Election.
Yeah. It's a different genre.
Which-
Like, I'm not saying the movies themselves are similar.
I was thinking about it. I think Election might be my favorite movie we've done for this podcast.
Be up there for me.
Hotbot for me.
Yeah, what's the worst one we've done?
It's got to be
Hot
Hotbot. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Project Echo was pretty bad.
One of those two.
Project X made me madder.
When we did the rankings episode, Project X was my lowest one, and Hotbot was, I believe, both of you.
We've watched some pretty bad ones since then. I mean, I like all of the American Pie direct-to-DVD movies I hated.
Yeah,
I wonder if we've watched more things that we hated than we enjoyed.
probably.
Because I've certainly hated a lot of things for this show.
Man, I'd love to have a look.
Man, let's do a spreadsheet.
Let's have a look now, quickly. Pad for a second. Prodigy.
I mean, I have to hang some washing out.
I got more thoughts on Rushmore. I'm sure.
I forgot to do that before
Actually,
you
I
guys
believe I
got
took
here.
a note. Hold on.
Because, like, we kind of, like, I mean, like, a lot of them veered off into fucking, like, nowhere near.
Well, it probably favors then in favor of things that we like because we've strayed from the premise in order to not do things that we hate.
I mean, I loved all 27 episodes of Off Center.
Do you remember that scene in Rushmore
Fuck, I don't
where
remember the
it's
password to this.
the first time you see Bill Murray after Miss Cross has broken up with him?
And
Yeah.
he looks like shit.
And he's in the hospital and he's like drinking in the elevator. It's like, man, I've never connected with a character so hard in my fucking life, dude. That bit where he's just like, Bill Murray's such a good actor. He's like dead in the eyes and he's just like, kind of just like, I don't know. He's got like Star Wars. Man, Bill Murray's such a good actor.
Do you like Lost
I
in
really like the
Translation?
moment
I
of
do, yeah.
him discovering the bees and then him in the elevator.
Yeah.
Like
That bit's great. Yeah.
that was very good.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, that's the bit you put in the trailer sort of thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's as close as you get to an action scene in the movie. They do some pranks on each other.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's a list of episodes.
Why didn't you just go to Spotify and look at our feed?
Oh, good point.
It's like so quick and easy.
Yeah, I know.
When I was watching the
did
movie-
well, these are, I mean, like, these are fucking...
They'd be old, right? Did you find that old spreadsheet?
No, I'm just looking at Prodigy here. Like, the worst thing I've seen so far is American Pie: The Naked Mile. It's like Role Models was good. Like
Romulus is great.
Heathers was good.
I loved Heathers.
I don't fucking even remember the first time. What was that about?
That was shit.
What was the first time?
That was the one that a fan asked us to do, and it was like...
Was it them like having sex? I assume it's about having sex.
Oh, was the one where he freezes time?
No.
Or goes
No.
back in time or something?
No, it was
There was
like...
one where someone goes back in time.
It was really boring. It was like a kid and a... I couldn't even think of how to describe it. It sucked. It was boring.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the time I'm watching these movies, I'm just scrolling on Twitter.
Aren't we all?
I'm pretty high and I'm scrolling on Twitter.
Slackers was pretty
Slackers
bad.
was terrible.
Slackers was bad.
Oh, we did Everybody Wants Some. I love that movie.
That's great. I love that.
What happened
movie.
in that?
I
What was
like
that
that
one?
more than
That's
Dazed
the
and
baseball
Confused.
ones. Oh, 200 Cigarettes was real bad.
Oh yeah, that was really bad.
The
Everybody Wants Some was
the
good.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants was real bad.
Yes, that was very
Game
bad.
Night ruled.
Yeah,
Game
I like
Night, yeah, did rule.
The In-Betweeners movie kind of sucks.
that. Oh, that was awful.
Oh, Whatever It Takes sucks.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
horrible.
Hotbot was probably the rapiest.
Yeah,
Or
well,
like 16 Candles, maybe. I fucking hated 16 Candles. That might
there's
be up
another
there.
one that
I
was...
really hated that movie.
Yeah, 16 Candles was
I didn't like
exceptionally
all the,
rapey and horrible.
You can go back
There
and
was
listen, but I
another-
hated all the John Hughes shit.
There was
except
another rapey
Ferris.
one. It was like
There's a few.
Loser was quite rapey
Yeah.
and also
Oh, yeah,
bad.
it was too. Loser sucked.
Hmm.
Man, what a time we've had. I don't know, any final thoughts on Rushmore? I think like listener.
Andrew Hastings could gush more about Rushmore.
He
5
just
stars.
called everyone cunt.
Yeah, listen up, cunts. If you haven't seen Rushmore, go watch it and come to understand Andrew Hastings a little better.
It's so funny how much of this episode was ice cream content.
I'm fine with it. This is probably about the amount of time we should talk about the movies
Yeah.
anyway.
And tell that Mick to buy me some ice cream.
Absolutely. That joke is such a... Oh, that's right. That's what I was going to say. Yvette didn't know Jacques Cousteau was a real person.
Oh.
She thought he was a character from 30 Rock.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah, man. She was like watching it. She was like, wait, is that... I thought... And I was
Ahead
like,
of its
oh,
time.
did you think...
If you haven't been paying attention, Yvette is Andrew's wife.
Yeah, that's my wife. Yeah. She thought... She's a
Who
little
thought
younger.
that Jacques
and she's-
Cousteau was
Does
not
that
a real
mean
person?
astronaut Mike Dexter is real?
Yeah,
I love
that'd be...
it. You two were just looking at it.
The joke is if she thinks Buzz Aldrin's a fictional
Yeah.
character.
But you two were just looking at each other. I love if I was sitting over here going, yeah, who would have thought that? Oh, yeah. I totally knew that he was real.
Any final jokes?
I liked it.
thoughts?
It's good.
I fucking man, go. I feel like it. Man, let's just do it with it. Let's do Royal Tenenbaums next. Fucking
Man, if we were to do any Wes Anderson movie, I'd say Grand Budapest.
so he. Oh, that's right. I got hot takes on his other work. I think Grand Budapest a little overrated.
I liked
It's
it.
probably the most popular one.
I
I would
think
say Moonrise was the most popular. Or Royal Tenenbaums.
I really love
Royal
both those
Tenenbaums is probably
two.
the most popular. Moonrise Kingdom was my favorite, I think.
I like that. I think the Fantastic Mr. Fox belongs in the conversation too.
That's
I
good.
just haven't seen it.
It's just so fun.
I think Life Aquatic. A lot of people say, and I think that's a touch overrated.
seen that.
I
either.
think the Darjeeling's the most underrated because people hate that
Darjeeling, I love, dude. Darjeeling's amazing.
Why do people hate it?
one. They just think it's kind of boring
It's
and
pretty.
plotting.
It's a bit slow, and it's like it's less.
But that's kind of the point.
yeah, absolutely. Well, they're on a train. Fucking
It's meant to
like-
be ponderous.
Yeah, and it's also like it doesn't have as much like cute shit as his others because
Yeah.
it's set on a train in a desert. So there's less like pink symmetrical houses and shit.
Hmm.
Which I love that shit too. Don't get me wrong, but it's like apparently I haven't
You ever
confirmed
seen
this.
Bottle Rocket?
Yeah, I've seen a few
I haven't
times.
seen Bottle
It's
Rocket.
it's good. It's not. So you know how like this is Wes Anderson obviously, and like you can tell watching this Wes Anderson, but it's not like dialed up to 11 Wes Anderson the same way like.
Because that's his first movie, right?
Oh no, I'm saying Rushmore. Like this was like a 5 out of 10 Wes Anderson in terms of on.
Oh, like 10 out of 10 is Grand Budapest.
Yeah, so 10 out of
Right.
like Budapest is probably his most Wes Anderson one.
Hmm.
Bottle Rocket, it's like a 1 out of 10. Like you can see it, and it's really interesting as a fan to be like, oh, there's like bits and pieces of it, but it's kind of more like an indie like road movie. Like it's good, it's great. Owen Wilson's a fucking great actor. Owen Wilson. So you know how Owen Wilson wrote this movie, but he's not in it or whatever. I haven't confirmed this with a screenshot or anything, but I've been told that the scene which is low key rapey, but is handled correctly. She responded like it's not like you don't forgive the character for it. But the bit where he sneaks into her bedroom and pretends to be injured and tries to
Yeah.
kiss her and she kicks him out and tells him to get fucked and shit. Apparently in that scene, you can see a photo of Owen Wilson somewhere, and the implication is that her dead husband is played by Owen Wilson.
That's cool.
Because he's in like every other Wes Anderson movie and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Owen Wilson in Royal Tenenbaums is
Which then
so
adds
funny.
another interesting
great in
layer in that
Darjeeling too.
maybe she was dating his brother.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Probably my like most laugh out loud Wes Anderson joke is in Tenenbaums. And it's when you get introduced to Owen Wilson character and he's like a Western writer and he's getting interviewed and his light bulb's flashing and he's like walking and he's all cool and he's dressed as a cowboy. And he goes, everybody knows General Custer died at Little Bighorn. What this book presupposes is maybe he didn't.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. All right. Are we good?
Yeah, anything to plug?
Yeah, baby. I got gigs and stuff coming up. The big one is this comes out on Thursday. You'll be listening to this on Thursday, maybe. On Saturday, I'm performing at the Sydney Opera House with a good friend of the show, Beck Charwood. You can't come to the show, but you can stream it on their website and on their YouTube, I believe.
Live?
I'm not sure if it's live or not, or after. We're allowed to announce it at 9 a.m. tomorrow, which is yesterday if you're listening to this. And all the details will be there. So go to my social media for details. Rose Alice Piper on Twitter and Instagram. Rosie Piper on Facebook. Other gigs that I have coming up. I am doing The Girls at the Chippendale on October 8.
That show's great.
I'm doing comedy.
I'm not allowed to do it for obvious reasons.
I'm doing Comedy Canteen on Saturday, October 10. That's where is that?
That's the East Sydney Hotel.
That's the East Sydney Hotel.
Yes, in Woolloomooloo.
And then on Thursday, October 15, I am doing. I'm not doing that. I got put on the lineup and I have to move that. I'm doing Chomsky comedy at some point. I don't know when that is.
Sick.
That's also at the Chippendale.
Sick. Yeah, go see Rose's shit. I'm gigging a lot, but there's no one show that I feel like there's just like. I might start posting my gigs somewhere again. Just follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll start posting my gigs more. Let's do
it
that.
in Instagram story.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm going to start posting the gigs I'm doing more. Let's do that. At Andrew Hastings 11 on Instagram, Andrew Hastings on Twitter.
I'm Jamie Coe Comedy on Instagram. That's where I put all gig stuff. And listen to my other podcast, Community Notice Board.
Listen to Jamie's other podcast, Community Notice Board.
And that's it from me. I need to pee real bad.
I need to hang washing out that I forgot to do before you guys get here.
Cool. All right.
Before you get here.
To the next step.
To the next step.
Underrated ice cream? Heart.
Oh, what is that?
It's kind of like a
Is that
Magnum, but it's
chocolate
shaped like a heart.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that.
good,
I fuck
man.
with that.
It's like a simpler Magnum.
Hey, do you remember
Yeah,
the one that
that's
was
great.
like, it was like pink and it was like a circle, but it was on a stick?
Isn't
Anyway,
that
it was
just a-
sickly and disgusting.